Do you ever feel forgotten? Do you ever feel so overlooked that even your pain becomes invisible? In today's story, we meet a crippled child who taught some important lessons about true healing. Let me tell you this story. In a quiet fishing village, nestled by the tranquil waters of the Sea of Galilee, there lived a little boy named Asa. Life hadn't been kind to Asa. You see, Asa could not walk. His legs had been weak since birth. She knew that most people were too absorbed in their daily routines to spare a glance at her son. Some days a stranger would give them bread, but more often than not, they just stared. It wasn't a showy, dramatic gesture, but in that simple act of kneeling, he communicated something profound, something that echoed in the silence of Asa's heart. His touch was firm, yet gentle, like the pressure of a seasoned sailor steadying a wobbly ship on stormy seas. And then he whispered, a sound that carried more weight than any booming proclamation. Stand, child. It wasn't a command, not a harsh imperative that could shatter the fragile hope that flickered within Asa. It wasn't a hesitant step, nor a step taken with support. No, it was a step of pure joy. As if the shackles had fallen away, he strode forward, his gait firm, his head held high. He wasn't just running. He was flying, his laughter echoing the melody of liberation. Asa's laughter continued to echo in the village by the Sea of Galilee. It was a sound that had once been silenced by pain, but now resonated with the strength of 1,000 drums. This wasn't just the story of a boy who had walked again. Oh no, this was the tale of a spirit that refused to be broken, of a soul that yearned to laugh, and in doing so healed, not just his own heart, but touched the very essence of those who witnessed his joy. He ran and he laughed, and in that moment he taught those gathered around him a lesson about the true meaning of healing. Also, share this story with someone who needs a reminder that healing isn't just a destination. It's a journey filled with moments of joy and laughter. Because sometimes all it takes is one kind glance, one gentle touch, and one word of encouragement to remind us that we can stand, we can walk, and yes, we can laugh again. He took another step, and then another. With each stride, the cheers grew louder, not derisive laughter, but genuine astonishment. It was as if the very air around Asa was rejoicing. No, it was an invitation, a gentle nudge towards a possibility that maybe Asa had long ceased to believe in. The people crowded around Asa, their faces a mixture of awe and disbelief. Some reached out to touch him, not to verify his affliction, but to confirm that he was real, that the miracle wasn't a figment of their collective imagination. Others broke into spontaneous song and dance, their voices echoing the sentiment that had been locked within Asa's heart for so many years. It was a celebration of life, of movement, of laughter. He didn't ask any questions, no inquiries about his illness, no polite small talk. For them, it was just another instance of pity in a long line of pitying glances. They had seen such scenes play out countless times before. A healer passing through, a desperate mother seeking help, a miraculous recovery, and then the healer moving on to the next town, leaving behind the echoes of his miracles. But the man wasn't just any healer. He was Jesus, and when he uttered those 3 words, "Stand, child," the very essence of hope stirred within Asa. He didn't inquire about how long Asa had been afflicted or the countless treatments they had tried. He didn't need to. With each passing moment, the warmth spread through his body, chasing away the coldness that had become a part of him. It was like the winter chill within him was melting away, replaced by the promise of spring. He looked down at his legs, at the limbs that had always betrayed him, and he saw not weakness, but strength. He looked up at the man, his eyes shining with a light that had been absent for as long as he could remember. The crowd, too, stirred. Their whispers grew louder, their gazes sharper, not because they understood the miracle that was unfolding, but because they witnessed something they couldn't comprehend. The weight of Asa's condition was etched not just on his body, but in the quiet despair in his eyes. The man understood. Still, Asa's mother persisted, driven by a fierce love for her son, and a sliver of hope that refused to be extinguished. She believed that one day Asa's light would shine through the darkness of his ailment and into the hearts of those around him. Each morning, when the sun painted the sky with hues of gold and the gentle breeze whispered across the water, Asa would sit on his mat near the shoreline, watching the world go by. He saw other children frolicking, running, splashing in the shallows, and laughing with unrestrained joy. He didn't complain. Oh no, not Asa. But his eyes often followed their joy with a quiet longing, reflecting the dreams that still flickered within his heart. Every Sabbath, his mother would carry him to the edge of the market, hoping that anyone would offer a word of kindness or a helping hand. One particular morning, the crowd at the market was different. There was a buzz of voices, murmurs rippling through the throng like waves crashing on the shore. As Asa's mother approached the familiar spot where she had sat countless times before, she noticed a hush falling over the crowd. People were parting, creating a path as if in reverence. At the end of that human tunnel stood a man. He was different, too. Dressed in simple robes, his clothes like unto a desert wind-blown and tattered, spoke of long journeys. His face was weathered, his eyes deep, holding a wisdom that seemed to reach beyond the mundane concerns of the marketplace. And in those eyes, Asa's mother saw something that made her heart skip a beat, understanding. It was a look that didn't merely acknowledge her son's suffering, but seemed to delve into its depths. It was a look of compassion, yes, but also of recognition, as if the man before them had walked a similar path, carried similar burdens. Without a word spoken, the man knelt beside Asa. He placed a hand on Asa's shoulder, not lingering there, but using it as an anchor, drawing himself closer to the boy. As the man spoke, the crowd fell silent, their gazes fixed on the two figures by the shoreline. Asa struggled to his feet, his legs trembling like newborn fawns taking their first unsteady steps. Then came the most significant moment, the culmination of a lifetime's worth of longing. Asa took a step. In that instant, Asa wasn't just a crippled boy who had walked. He was a symbol of hope, a testament to the belief that healing wasn't just about the absence of pain, but the presence of joy. And through it all, Asa's joy shone brighter than any star in the firmament. Now, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, if you like this story, don't forget to stay tuned for more. Your support means everything to us.